Welcome to Study Guide. In this guide, we will discuss about product management cycle. Product management is becoming an increasingly popular role across both startups and enterprise companies. Through its established procedure of bringing a new product to the market, product management helps manage the life cycle of the product. So product life cycle management is one of the key aspects of product management, where it focuses on the succession of strategies by business management as a product goes through its life cycle. A company needs to stay ahead not only in its existing markets but also in new markets that it expands into. In order to stay ahead, it needs newer products on an ongoing basis that meet the needs of a continually changing market. We have also seen that the product development process has become a complicated and expensive process. Hence, a structured approach to product development is needed. This is also called the product management process. The 5 key stages of product management life cycle are: 1. New product identification. 2. New product definition. 3. Product development product. 4. Launch and growth. 6. Product discontinuation. The product management process is cyclical in nature. This means that product development is a continual and ongoing process which goes through a cycle. As old products die, new ones are born, and so the cycle goes on. This process of managing the entire life cycle of a product from its conception through design and manufacture to service and disposal integrates people, data, processes, and business systems and provides a product information backbone for companies and their extended enterprise. New products can be products that your business has never made or sold before. In product management, new product identification phase involves the company conducting various activities in order to understand the customer's needs and desires and define the functional requirements of the product. Product managers carry out 3 major activities in this phase. 1. Discover and gather feedback from users. They run customer surveys and responses to existing products so that improvements to existing products can be undertaken. During this, they also try to understand what the customer feels and what are his pain areas. For example, in areas where the customer has problems, many times it is the solution of the pain area of the customer that gives rise to new innovations. When a company is selling a product in its target segment, then this product will fulfill all the needs of a part of this segment, most of the needs of a large part of this segment, and some of the needs of the balance. In order to know whether the company's products are meeting the customer's expectations, the company's sales force or an agency appointed by the product management team. 2. Secondary research. They read journals, magazines, books, and also go to international exhibitions, conferences, and see what innovations are being displayed and discussed by eminent scientists, business associates, and competitors. This helps them keep abreast with the latest developments around the world so that they can use some of these in their own product. It also helps understand what the competition could possibly develop in terms of new products. 3. Expert review and think tank ideations. They formulate or make use of think tanks that take in all the data that comes in from various sources and come up with ideas. This consists of cross-functional teams consisting of people from various departments, many of whom may eventually be involved in the development of the product. These cross-functional teams get all the inputs that is available for product development, and they also bring into the team their knowledge and experience. Using this, they debate and come up with ideas for new produce development. During this phase, various ideas for products generated in the first phase are discussed and evaluated so that the final product is finalized. During this phase, the following activities are undertaken. The high-level functions of the product are defined. High-level specifications mean that these specifications are an overview of all the functions desired in the product. These are stated simply and are meant so that everyone in the organization can understand the functions are and how it solves the customer's problems. A business case is made for the new product. This business case defines the size of the market, the segment for which the product has been defined. What are the investments needed to make and sell the product, and what will be the profit that the product make during its life cycle? It also outlines what are the competitive products currently and also likely to be launched by the competitor. Once the basic product has been defined like the nano, the product management team will have to make a detailed report in which they will have to evaluate whether this product will make business sense. At the end of the day, the business needs to make a profit, and if a product cannot make profit, it will not be considered for the next stage of development. The study done in this phase is relatively preliminary and is done to understand the basics of the economic feasibility. In this stage, the product management team has to sell the idea of the product to various people in the organization: sales, production, R&D, HR, etc. Once the product development team has determined that the product is viable, it has to convince the management that the product not only meets the strategic objectives but also the profit objectives of the organization. Until the management is convinced, the financial commitment needed to commence product development cannot be made. The presentation to the management will also have details of the financial support needed for development. the time by which the product will be developed, the business prospects, and the techno-commercial feasibility. During this phase, the technology group with industrial engineering group conduct a feasibility study. In addition, an economic study is done. This is done in consultation with the technical teams of the organization like R&D, operation, procurement, etc., in order to understand broadly if the product can be made economically. At this stage, many assumptions are made based on which the decision is taken. For example, the product management team will assume that a certain technology needed to manufacture the product will be available at a certain cost and base their calculations on that. This assumption is based on the experience of the people in the organization, and no formal quotation is taken since it has not been decided for sure that this is the technology that will be used or some other option will be taken. Once the product's high-level specifications have been finalized and the top management has approved this product and committed resources for its development, the product management group involves the product development team. This team consists of people from R&D, manufacturing, industrial engineering, and sales. They are given the high-level specifications of the product and given the tasks of creating the actual physical product. During this phase, 1. The various functions involved in the product development team make a detailed specification of the product. They also define the look and feel of the product. The task of converting a high-level specification into a detailed product specification is not a small task. It involves a detailed process in which several functional areas are involved. Each functional area provides inputs in the best way of meeting the product's objectives, and the product development team considers all the inputs and decides on what options to take. During this period, the product specifications may undergo minor changes, keeping in view the strengths of an organization. However, the overall functional requirements will remain the same. They evaluate the various options in manufacturing processes and the need for any new technology to make the product. They also evaluate the impact of various options in making the product in terms of investment needed, profits generated, etc. While making the detailed product specifications, the management also evaluates the manufacturing options it has for the new products. They need to evaluate whether the existing manufacturing processes are adequate for making the new product, or they need to expand the manufacturing setup, or they need to create an altogether new facility. Many times it happens that new technology needed to manufacture the new product has a significant impact on the existing processes, and so the management needs to evaluate whether such a technology should be used or not, whether this is going to be beneficial to the organization in the long term, since it may involve a lot of retraining of its manpower for using the new technology. 3. The first prototype of the product is developed and evaluated to see if the product meets all the functional requirements set out in the initial document. This is an important stage in the product development cycle. This product is put through functional trials to see if the specifications laid out at the beginning are met, not only from the engineering point of view but also from the customer's requirements point of view. At this stage, sometimes a few chosen customers are also shown the product for their feedback. The feedback from testing and the customer is considered by the product management team, and they decide on the changes to be incorporated in the product. 4. At this stage, the product is more or less finalized and the product functionality frozen. However, some fine-tuning may continue till the product launch and even during the life of the product. These modifications are done to suit the conveniences of manufacturing or additional features needed by sales. 5. Once the final product comes out of the factory, it is once again shown to some key partners in the market and sometimes test marketed in a small area to get the more feedback. Test marketing is usually done so that the actual user experience is received. It is normally done in a small representative market away from the main market of the company. The reason for doing the test away from the main market is that in case the test fails or has a negative impact, the main market must not be affected. This feedback also is discussed internally, and the relevant parts are incorporated in the product. Post all of this, the product is then ready for launch. A product launch is a company's coordinated effort to bring new or updated products to market. Well-planned and well-performed launches announce a product to the world after building substantial buzz. The product launch needs a lot of preparation so as to ensure that the product succeeds in the market. Just making a good product is not enough to ensure its success. Thus, by the time the final product is ready, the product management group has to develop the support needed to launch the product in the market. A launch can be divided into 3 stages. 1. Planning. This is the stage where product teams set goals, research their audience and competition, align expectations, and establish the marketing strategy. The product management team knows how they have positioned the product and what their target segment is. Along with the advertising department, they have to develop the campaign needed to launch the product. Now, keeping with the company's overall business objective, they know how much they can spend on this campaign, and so they plan the media according to this need. The launch team also works closely with product developers to establish a timeline for a launch date and identify key marketable components of the product. 2. Execution. This is the window of time during which the product is formally released. This includes the actual day of release and the subsequent marketing efforts to maintain buzz throughout the following weeks. During this time, product and marketing data is collected that will eventually help determine the success of the launch. The product management group continues to provide support to the product throughout the life of the product by determining ways to improve sales, profitability of the product. Many times they have built-in features in the product that have not been released with the initial launch of the product. These features are added into the product in a phased manner so as to stay ahead of competition and keep the customer interested in the product. 3. Analysis. Eventually, marketing efforts will wind down as the product transitions from the launch stage into the growth stage of the product life cycle. Product teams compare data collected during the release window and determine whether KPIs and other goals were met as a result of the launch. They also keep taking a feedback from the customer so that small incremental improvements can be made to the product, thus increasing its life and profitability of the company while keeping it ahead of competition. This is a critical phase in the management of products. This is the phase when the product is to be discontinued and a new product has to be introduced. Some of the considerations in this phase are: availability of a new product. The foremost consideration in introducing a new product is its availability. Awareness of the competitor's products. At the same time, we need to see what the competitor is doing. If the competitor has already launched a new product, it will force the company's hand in launching its own product. For example, when Apple launched its iPhone with a large touchscreen technology, other phone manufacturers were forced to launch similar products within a very short time. Customer maturity. Even though a new product may be ready, it may not be possible to launch it because the customers are not ready for it. E.g., consumer durable manufacturers had washing machines ready in their product portfolio but could not launch it since the Indian customer was not ready for it. The Indian customer at that time felt that washing by hand was the done thing and that a washing machine never washed the clothes properly and that they never came out clean. Adequate training. In addition, before discontinuing an existing product and launching a new product, the organization needs to be trained in it. For example, the manufacturing team must know how to make it. The sales team and its distributors must understand how to sell the product. If it is a product that needs installation and maintenance, then this team must also be trained. Adequate stock must lie in the distribution channel so that once the product is launched and the campaign breaks out, sales must not be lost due to non-availability at the retail end. Subscribe to our channel for more. Stay tuned.